Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we are letting ourselves feel our feelings as we look at the 10 best Final Fantasy romances. Creating a romance on screen requires a perfect recipe, and for 1,000 different reasons, Final Fantasy has some of the best romantic couplings in gaming. Let's see where they rank. We do see a few love triangles across the series, so for this list, we're only letting characters appear once, so make your choice already, Cloud. Jesus! Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Wakka and Lulu.
Chapu. I was surprised too, the first time I saw him. But no matter what he looks like, he isn't Chapu. You shouldn't have brought him here in the first place.
This is a divisive one for audiences. Some people challenge that Wakka and Lulu are just too different to bond well as partners, and that it's not believable that when we return to them at the beginning of Final Fantasy X Part 2, they're married and pregnant. But it's difficult to argue that they have coexisted together across various insular traumatic experiences. The death of Lulu's boyfriend and Wakka's brother Chapu, caring for and essentially sending their surrogate daughter/little sister Yuna to her eventual death, they live in their own little bubble with a history nobody else except them experiences. Watching them grow closer across Final Fantasy X's campaign with hints of romance shows us that these two people have someone to trust, someone to lean on, and it's undeniably beautiful. And Wakka is living out our collective fantasy. Moving on.
How about Wakka?
What, me? With Wakka?
Yeah, you two get along great.
Getting along isn't enough. Not even close.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
Zack and Aerith.
Hello! Hooray!
Obviously, when we first played Final Fantasy VII way back in 1997 and watched our main boy Cloud build a relationship with Aerith, the simple idea that there was another man in her past made us go, get out of here, Zack! Who even are you? But it's undeniable when we got the chance to see Zack's relationship with Aerith blossom across the events of Crisis Core that we all thought Zack was a far better choice for Aerith. Their interactions endear us to his character and make us root for him, even though we know his ending is brutal and heartbreaking. Seeing Aerith and Zack hit it off in a dynamic that is not one-sided makes their relationship feel significantly more wholesome than her relationship with Cloud a few years down the line.
Listen, now's not the best time. I'll call you later.
No, you don't have to.
Okay. I'll come visit.
I'll be here.
I'll see you. I promise.
Noctis and Lunafreya.
So... I have a favor to ask. Take the notebook with you when you go. Sure.
Final Fantasy XV faced its fair share of challenges during development before finally launching to a relatively positive reception, despite the need for some narrative refinement. While Noctis and Luna are depicted as a strong couple, their relationship is largely relegated to brief glimpses through flashbacks. Nevertheless, Luna's death remains a shocking moment within the storyline. The depth of Noctis's emotional connection to her becomes apparent, making Ardyn's intervention all the more devastating. Their relationship, though not heavily touched on, continues to be the soul of the game, as Noctis takes comfort in heading to his death and leaving his friends behind, knowing he will be reunited with the one he loves most in the afterlife. And luckily he was. At least I think he was. It was hard to see through all the tears. Zidane and Garnet. Many fans regard Final Fantasy IX as one of the series' finest titles, skillfully blending homage to its predecessors by allowing long-dead tropes to re-emerge in clever ways. Zidane, the protagonist, forms a compelling bond with Garnet, the Princess of Alexandria, adding depth to the narrative. Despite their romance receiving limited screen time, much like Noctis and Lunafreya, its authenticity and quality writing shine through, like Wakka and Lulu, exemplifying the essence of a superb video game relationship like Aerith and Zack. Essentially, there's nothing original going on here, but it makes my chest warm, so f*** off. Locke and Celes. Final Fantasy VI released way back in 1994 with one of the most fantastical and rich stories to exist in gaming. With the biggest roster of playable characters in Final Fantasy history, watching how 14 different characters interact and blend with one another in different environments and contexts is undeniably compelling. But it was the natural way that Locke and Celes developed their relationship across the game that became the most interesting dynamic to observe. With a relationship that didn't start from love at first sight, we observed their bond grow in a more traditional way that is far more grounded in reality than fantasy, and we enjoyed every second of it. Squall and Rinoa. There are two romantic couplings in this game that are equally beautiful in a lot of ways. First being the romance between Squall's parents Laguna and Rain, which is beautifully tragic, but never because these two don't deeply love each other. Their story would trump any other were it not for the fact that Squall is our main character, and we just get a lot more time to see the bond formed between him and Rinoa. Rinoa acts as a great catalyst for Squall coming out of his shell, and when he emerges, we witness a fantastic romance born from a desire to protect each other. Their story is one of the most significant strengths of this Final Fantasy entry. Cecil and Rosa. Cecil Harvey stands out as one of the most esteemed protagonists in the Final Fantasy series. His transformative journey from a conflicted Dark Knight to an honorable paladin is a testament to his resilience and growth. This evolution strengthens his bond with Rosa as both characters strive for goodness and personal improvement, deepening their relationship. Hear that, fellas? Personal growth is sexy. Those interested in exploring further dimensions of their romance can delve into The After Years, a sequel to Final Fantasy IV that often goes unnoticed by many players, but holds a lot of weight in the narrative journey of the original game. Clive and Jill.
It's getting cold. We should go in. My lady.
Good night, Clive.
It's undeniable that the romance between Clive and Jill and the development of their relationship does certainly take a backseat to the much more pressing narrative, and even Clive's relationship to his male friends. But with all that aside, they're childhood sweethearts and it's so f***ing beautiful. The writing in Final Fantasy XVI does everything in its power to undermine the impact of this romance by focusing on other things right up until the final moments of the game when Gav's reaction to Clive's fate trumps Jill's reaction. Yet somehow, they emerge as a beautiful and naturally evolving love story. Cloud and Tifa.
I thought we could just pick up where we left off, like nothing had changed. But I guess I was wrong.
It was a tough decision to lock down who Cloud has better chemistry with, but in the end, we decided that Cloud and Tifa took the trophy. And in the same breath, Zack is a far better partner for Aerith anyway, so it all works out in the end. From childhood to holding the fate of the universe in their hands, Cloud and Tifa were always by each other's side, and arguably, there is no one who understands Cloud better. Literally throwing herself in front of any danger to aid her crush, Tifa and Cloud take a long time to get their moment in the original game, and when they finally do, God, it's heartwarming. And the devs of the remake clearly know who their audience loves the most, because the date with Tifa at the Gold Saucer is the only date option that can end with a kiss. Tidus and Yuna. Initially, Tidus may appear overly self-assured and somewhat bothersome, but this youthful demeanor plays a pivotal role in showcasing the evolution of his character. After encountering Yuna and developing affection for her, it becomes apparent that in order for Yuna to defeat Sin, she will have to sacrifice herself and her life. Determined to defy this grim destiny in order to safeguard their love, Tidus resolves to confront his fate head on. The way this love story unfolds is so unbelievably heartbreaking and beautiful that I'm not even going to spoil this 23-year-old game. I'm just going to implore you to go and experience it. Final Fantasy X, stop making me cry. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos.